I asked hundreds of people why they never started an ATM business. Here are the real reasons. Some were corporate professionals looking to get into another income stream. Others were entrepreneurs looking for a cash flow business. But months later, they were still researching and still didn't purchase their first ATM. Why? It wasn't because they weren't capable. It wasn't because they didn't have the money. And it wasn't because the ATM business was too complicated. Most of them got stuck with the same three questions. Is this too risky? How am I going to find a good location? And the question nobody wants to admit, what if I fail? Those three questions have stopped more people from starting an ATM business than the price of the ATM ever was. So today I'm going to break down those fears, explain why concerns are legitimate, and show how experienced operators think through them before investing any money. My goal is not to convince you to start an ATM business. My goal is to help you be better informed so the decision-making process becomes easier and you're not stuck. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell for more practical ATM content. All right, let's get into the video. This seems too risky. I don't know how to find good locations, and what if I fail? If you have ever thought through any of those things, you're not alone. Those concerns are legitimate. The mistakes is allowing those concerns to remain undefined. So let's talk through each one. This seems too risky. This is probably the biggest concern and honestly the fair one. Starting a business involves risk, but I believe most people begin by asking the wrong questions. The question is the ATM business risky? Every business has risk. Real estate has risk. Restaurants have risk. Transportation companies have risk. Even keeping all your money in a savings account for inflation has risk. The better question is, do I understand the specific risk involved and how do I manage them? There is a major difference between taking calculated risk and making uninformed decisions. Buying an ATM before securing a location is risky. Placing a machine somewhere simply because the business feels busy is risky. Signing a bad location agreement is risky. Buying outdated or unsupported equipment is very risky. Underestimating how much vault cash you'll need is risky. Failing to understand processing, compliance, settlement, insurance, security, and merchant responsibilities, they're all very risky. But when you understand the numbers, evaluate the location, purchase the correct equipment, and build an operating plan, you dramatically reduce all those risks and it makes it very manageable. Here's something practical you can do today. Take out your phone, write down this question. What specifically am I afraid of losing? Is it money? Is it time? Is it confidence? Is it reputation? Are you worried about buying the wrong machine? Are you afraid you won't find a location? Are you concerned that customers will not use the ATM? Most people say that they're afraid of risk, but they have never clearly defined what risk is. If you can't define risk, you can evaluate it, reduce it, and create a plan that you can manage. I don't know how to find good locations. That's a valid concern. This concern starts a lot of people because almost everyone understands one basic truth about the ATM business. A strong location can make an average ATM profitable, while a weak location can make it expensive and ATMs irrelevant. The location drives transaction and the machine processes them. The problem is that beginners often believe finding locations is a secret known only by experienced operators. It is not a secret. It is a skill. Skills can be learned. Nobody's born with knowing how to evaluate foot traffic, customer behavior, cash demands, competition, surcharge potential, merchant expectations, or location economics. Operators learn those things through education, observation, conversation, and experience, and over time. You don't need to know every answer before you begin. You need a repeatable process for evaluating opportunities. The next time you walk into business, ask yourself three questions. Who in this business needs cash? How many potential customers come through the door? Why should someone use this ATM at this particular location? The business can have tremendous amounts of foot traffic and still provide very few ATM transactions. A grocery store where nearly everyone pays with card may not be a business that you want to put your ATM in. A smaller nightclub, convenience store, gaming establishment, smoke shop, laundromat, or a cash-preferred business may have fewer customers but significantly have greater ATM transactions. That's why experienced operators do not evaluate locations based on foot traffic alone. They evaluate the reasons customers may need cash. Once you begin observing cash behavior instead of simply counting people, you are starting to think just like an ATM operator. Location evaluation is not magic, but it is a process of gathering information and determining whether the economics really make sense. What if I fail? Hey, that's a legitimate concern. This concern almost everyone says out loud, but what if I buy an ATM and the ATM doesn't perform? What if I select the wrong location? What if I lose money? What if I discovered I'm not a good operator in the ATM business? Those are legitimate questions and valid concerns. But here's what we'd like to reframe them. The goal in the ATM business is to reduce uncertainty before you can act and manage what happens afterwards. Every successful business owner you have ever admired has had to make a decision without answering every question. They gathered the best information available. They studied the business model. They follow the framework. They make calculated decisions, measure results, and adjust when necessary. That's entrepreneurship, and that's how business gets done. Your first location may not become your best location. Your first merchant presentation may not result in a location agreement. You may need to move the machine, renegotiate an arrangement, change your surcharge, improve your sales approach, or adjust your operating procedure. That doesn't automatically mean the business failed. It means that you are learning how to operate it. I tell people all the time, don't ask how I can guarantee success. No legitimate business gives you a guarantee. Ask, how can I avoid making unnecessary mistakes? Those are completely two different questions. You can't control every outcome, but you can control how much preparation you need to complete before you make that investment. After speaking with hundreds of people over the years, I have realized that most people do not avoid the ATM business because the business is too risky. They avoid it because they're waiting for certainty. They want to know that the location will work, the machine will make money, the merchant will remain loyal, and nothing unexpected will ever happen. But certainty does not exist in business. What you can have is a process. You can have education. You can have realistic expectations. You can have a framework for evaluating locations, equipment, capital requirements, processing, and compliance of operations. Minimize your risk, I always say in business. You can understand the potential downside before you commit your money. You can begin with one machine, learn the business, prove the model, and make better decisions as you grow. Confidence does not come from having every answer. Confidence comes from knowing how to evaluate the information, make a decision, and adjust when necessary. If you're thinking about starting an ATM business, I put together a free business checklist. I give you 3 important questions to think about today. You can download the free checklist using the link down below and the description down below. Use it to evaluate the opportunities, understand the responsibilities, and decide whether the ATM business is the right for you. I'll see you at the next video. Thank you for liking and subscribing to our channel.